Hello, greetings to all of you. Now, in this lecture, we will be discussing the heat transfer operation in greater detail. So, this heat transfer course is very important for chemical engineer because we need to design heat exchanger. Heat exchanger is very important equipment for transferring heat. Okay, so these heat exchangers are used for industrial operation to transfer the heat from one stream to another stream. So to understand very clearly the design of heat exchanger, this course heat transfer operation is very important for all of you. My name is Upendra Kumar Shukla from Department of Chemical Engineering, IET Lucknow. So let's begin the lecture heat transfer operation. So I will first summarize the mode of heat transport. So as far as heat transfer is concerned, heat transfer. Chemical engineers study this heat transfer operation in combined form in some year along with momentum transfer, momentum transfer and mass transfer or mass transfer. Now very important, these all three subjects will constitute the subject called transport phenomena. Transport phenomena. Here, there is a unified approach to deal with all transport processes. Unified approach to deal with all transport processes, namely fluid momentum transport, heat transport, and mass transport. Now, moving ahead, heat will transfer from. So, heat is something that is invisible to us. It can be only can be felt. Heat is a form of energy. So heat is the common denominator for many things. Like in heat you will study about heat you will study in thermodynamics as well. Thermodynamics and about heat you will study in uh, heat will be the concept of heat will be used in fluid mechanics as well. Fluid mechanics as well, and of course for heat transfer. So heat is the common denominator for all three subjects: thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, heat transfer. Now, why heat transfer is important? Let me so motivation for this. Motivation. Suppose a reaction is taking place. Suppose you are a manufacturing company and you are going to react with these two reactants and it gives rise to product called C. Now it will happen at certain temperature and certain pressure, but your fluid stream, your reactant stream might not be at that temperature and pressure. Now to bring at that temperature and pressure, to, uh, to make sure that reaction will happen in optimized way, means to get the maximum concentration of the product C, we will make sure that temperature is optimized, and to get that optimized temperature we will use the heat exchanger. Heat exchanger is something, if I will use double pipe heat exchanger, this is cylindrical, so the cylindrical surface, so to make sure that only heat is transferring from between the fluids, we are taking this as a solid wall, so that there will be no mass movement from higher temperature to lower temperature. Suppose hot stream is going in this way and cold stream is going in this way. In the extra annular region, cold stream is going, and in pipe, uh, hot stream is going, then heat will be transferred from hot to cold, hot to cold. Now, once heat get transferred, the temperature of the cold stream will rise, and that fluid stream we will take as input in this reactor, and then the reactants react and will give us the product C. So this is the part of this is a bit motivation for studying heat transfer. Now let's proceed further. Next thing is that uh, uh, first thing about heat we must understand two things, that quantity of heat quantity of heat, and second thing that we must understand about heat, the direction. So how much amount of heat is flowing and what is the direction of heat is flowing. Direction here is from high temperature to low temperature. Now why from high temperature to low temperature? To bring it in thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium. That is the concept related to uh, thermodynamics. Related to thermodynamics. Suppose you are taking hot plate right here. So air around it will get heat up because of heat flowing from high temperature, let's say T1 to T2 environment temperature. There is lower temperature. Now second thing that you must understand right here, modes of heat transfer. Modes of heat heat transport. Now, as far as this mode of heat transport is concerned, there are three modes of heat transport, namely conduction, convection, and and radiation. Now, what is conduction? So, I will write it conduction. The mechanism, as far as mechanism is concerned, for the conduction, mechanism is concerned. Mechanism is this will happen in stationary medium. That stationary medium could be a solid, could be liquid, could be gas, but medium must be stationary for conduction to happen. As far as law is concerned, so law is particularly, I am moving to the next slide to explain it better. So I will take highlighter. Yes. So conduction well, and then convection well, and then we will discuss radiation. I will compare these things so that it will be easier for you to conceptualize all these things. So conduction, convection, and radiation. Let me use another pen, another color. Okay. So for conduction, first thing is mechanism. Mechanism. So medium must be the first preliminary condition for conduction to happen. Medium must be stationary. Now these two processes, conduction and convection, will happen through medium. Through medium. While radiation will happen without it, it may travel radiation mode of transport of heat, without medium, like vacuum, without medium as well, along with the medium, right? So this is so mechanism stationary medium. Now in the solid, you will find the conduction will take place through three electrons, three electrons, and lattice vibration. Lattice vibration. Now, as far as liquid is concerned, liquid, this happened with the random motion of the molecule. Random motion of the molecules in the liquid, in the liquid, and consequent collision and consequent collision. Well, liquid and gas, the similar type. Now you can recall for conduction mechanism, just brick making, just wall making process by some architect. Just like right here, wall making process is going on, and bricks are placed right here. So and several persons are placed like this. So this brick will move right there, then this will move here, this will move here. In this way, the wall making process is going on. No, nobody is transporting himself. Only heat is brick is transported through these medium, means through these mens. So these are acting as a medium, stationary medium, and through which the conduction, a heat mode of heat transport will happen. Now, as far as conduction is concerned, the next thing that you need to understand that the governing, what is the governing law for it? So, governing law. What is the governing law? That is the Fourier's law of heat conduction, and Fourier's law of heat conduction says that I will write in, Q x is equal to minus k dt over dx. So this is the Fourier. Now, as far as convection is concerned, convection will take place. These are two types of convection. So convection, first the mechanism. This is the transfer of heat between solid surface, and moving fluid. You will study this in greater detail later on. Here just I am comparing all three modes of heat transfer. Now, as far as this solid surface and moving fluid, now this fluid can move itself naturally due to temperature difference. There would be density difference density difference, and due to temperature difference, density difference, and due to density difference, there will be, you know hot fluid means less density, so it will rise up through buoyancy, and the place of this hot fluid will be taken by the cold fluid. So movement for hot fluid, suppose you have taken a taken water in a vessel, and you are heating from below. So right here you will find that temperature is higher, and this higher temperature means lower density. So particle will start moving up, and top molecules have low temperature, high density, so it will move down due to more gravitational force. So buoyancy force, gravitational force, all those things. So this particle moving down and this particle moving up. So there is actual transport of the molecules for heat transfer, and this is called the convection process. So, but you see right here that convection process is happening naturally due to temperature difference and thereby density difference. So there is a natural convection, and second is the forced convection. So forced convection. Now this fluid can be moved through force, some force, by using fan, blowers. All those things are used for forced convection. So these things are important to understand. Now, as far as convection governing law is concerned, that you must understand, irrespective of the details of the mechanism, the rate of heat transfer by convection, both forced and free between the solid surface and a moving fluid, is calculated from the relation. Let's say Q. This is not per unit area, only heat flow rate. Q is equal to H bar A delta T. Now delta T is the the difference between the surface temperature and temperature of the fluid stream, Ts minus T infinity. Now this is called the Newton's law of cooling, because this equation was originally proposed by Sir Isaac Newton and is known as Newton's law of cooling. So this process means convection is governed by the law called Newton's law of cooling. So this you must understand. Now here the term appears called heat transfer coefficient. Here a term appear called conductivity. Similar terms. Now as far as this radiation is concerned, this radiation that you need to understand. What is radiation? Any substance, any substance at a finite temperature, at a finite temperature, at a finite temperature, emits energy in the form of electromagnetic wave. Emits energy in the form of electromagnetic waves. Now you'll understand that electromagnetic waves, and these waves may be in our direction, as well as at all wavelength, at all wavelength. Right, at all wavelength means from very low to very high. Okay, so the energy emitted within a specific band, you know, the energy. Next thing that you must note, the energy emitted within a, a specific band, 0.1 to 100 micrometer, is termed as thermal radiation. Thermal radiation. So that this point we must know. Now exchange of energy, exchange of such radiant energy between two bodies at different temperature, so is defined as the heat transfer between the bodies by radiation. So we have seen just before that heat transfer by conduction or convection requires the presence of a medium, but the radiation heat transfer does not necessarily requires a medium, right? Rather, it occurs more efficiently in vacuum. Now, ideal radiator. Now, governing laws as far as concerned, ideal radiator is called ideal radiator is called is defined as the body that emits and absorbs at any temperature the maximum possible amount of radiation at any given wavelength. So there is a law, rate of radiant energy emitted from the surface of a black body. Ideal radiator is also called the black body. That so this is there is a law called E EB black body is equal to sigma A T power 4. This is Stephen Boltzmann law. So this thing is governed by Stephen Boltzmann law. So Stephen Boltzmann law, this is very important law for heat transport. Stephen Boltzmann law. Okay, so these two are Austrian scientists, Stephen, who established the equation experimentally, and Boltzmann, who derived this theoretically, from quantum mechanics. So that's why the name of the law is Stephen Boltzmann law. Now, this sigma constant of personality, just like uh, just like here conductivity, and here heat transfer coefficient, very similar to that. This sigma proportionality constant is called Stephen Boltzmann constant in the honor of the scientist who have discovered it. So Stephen Boltzmann constant, right? And the unit, if you use, you will write sigma is equal to EV, energy emitted, divided by AT⁴. You will get the its unit, and its unit become watt per meter square Kelvin to power 4. Just work out that, you will get, and its value is something that you can note down in this unit itself. 10 key power 5.6697, 5.6697 multiplied by 10 key power minus 8. So this thing you must understand. Now moving next, the radiation itself. So I am just erasing the upper part of it to make you aware of the things. Other laws I will also write. So this is the Stephen Boltzmann law. Now what happens if radiator or any surface is not ideal, means energy, are not ideal radiator, what will happen then? Now to understand that, uh, let me tell you, to understand that you must understand. Now other laws, as far as if a radiator is not ideal, I mean, uh, the means body is not black body, so black body is not there, then that surface is called ideal, that is called real body. So real body, and real bodies do not behave like an ideal radiator or black body. They emit radiation at a lower rate than that of black body. So the bodies or surfaces which emit at any temperature a constant fraction of black body emission at that temperature at each wavelength is called gray bodies. Okay, gray bodies or gray surfaces. Therefore, the rate of emission of radiant energy from the surface of a gray body, gray means real, which is not, which is a gray surface. This is also called gray surface. So for the real body or gray surface, you will find E is equal to epsilon times epsilon. This would be the fraction of this real surface, sigma a t की power 4. You will find epsilon sigma a t की power 4. Moreover, now if you want to calculate the net transfer of radiant energy, now third thing that you must to note down right here. So this is the one equation, and this is before this we have the Stephen Boltzmann law. Now, if let's say third stage is suppose we have two surfaces, one at higher temperature and another at lower temperature. So what could be the exchange of radiant energy between two surfaces? That you must understand how to calculate that. Now, after getting the ideas about Stephen Boltzmann law, these two scientists, Stephen have done that experimentally, and Boltzmann theoretically proved the same law. That's why, that's why the name is Stephen Boltzmann law. Now, coming back to the surface, these two surfaces, one at higher temperature and other at a lower temperature. Now, as I told you that at every finite temperature, there will be the radiation of there will be a radiation of electromagnetic wave, and in certain region bandwidth from zero point 0.1 to 100 micron, it is called the thermal radiation. So what could be the thermal radiation exchange between these two surfaces? Now just apply your brain, said that emission of the radiant energy that is emitted by the surface 1 could be captured by the surface 2 or could not be captured by the surface 2. That will depend on the geometry of the surfaces. So there is a term called the F12 or F21 that I will discuss detail in the radiation class. in the coming lecture. So these things are called F12 and F21. These are called shape factor. Shape factor means this will depend on the shape. That's why this is called the shape factor. Now, moreover, you need to understand that this between T1 and if suppose T1 is greater than T2, so this T1 minus T2 you could not write. There is a power 4, so T1 की power 4 minus T2 की power 4. One thing, and second thing is you will have to use sigma s. So you will have to use sigma bell sigma, right? And then you will have to use a area, cross sectional area, and this friction factor. This area a1 and a2 could be two surfaces, so a1 a2 you could use a1 and f12 friction factor. So in this way you can find out the radiation heat exchange between the two bodies. So these are the laws with respect to radiation. So now I will give you the analogy. Now I will give you the analogy between electric circuit and these circuits of thermal means heat flow. Now let's discuss for conduction. You know the heat law is heat transfer. Rate of heat transfer is something. And now this is Q is equal to minus Ka dt over dx. Now this thing you will find out. Now if you write this dx in the finite version, you will get minus ka and dt in delta t form and dx in delta L form. Then you will find, and temperature, let's take from higher to lower, then this could be, minus sign can be consumed. So this you can write delta t as a temperature difference, and delta t as a temperature difference, and this delta x that you have written, let's say this length this is delta x is L by k. Now compare with the current flow. I is equal to voltage difference divided by resistance. So you will get the idea. This resistance is equal to L by K. So resistance is equal to L by Ka. Length of the solid or liquid is in a stationary medium. So now you will be representing just like voltage. You will write here T1 and write here T2, and this is the resistance L by K, and then you will get the heat flow divided temperature difference divided by L by K. In a very similar manner, if there is a convection, then you will get Q is equal to HA delta T. It means you can write delta T divided by 1 by HA. So here is the resistance 1 by HA. So for convection, you will be getting resistance 1 by HA, and higher temperature T1, and here higher temperature lower temperature T2. So T1 minus T2, here we have taken higher temperature minus lower temperature in conduction, and here, so remember that current flow is the rate, so heat flow rate you have to consider to compare these two things, otherwise everything will get disturbed. So here 1 upon HA, so this is the resistance in convection. So this is all about, and then in the radiation you will not find analogy. So I will end here my lecture, and in the coming lecture we will discuss in greater detail the conduction itself. Thank you so much.